Well, welcome back everybody. Wow, there's one great problem with holidays, isn't it? You've got to come back from them. But we had a good time, I have to say, so it's nice to be back as well, if I'm honest. It's nice to get a balance, but we all enjoyed it. We were down in Cornwall, had some pretty good weather. Yeah, we've definitely got a bit of a tan now, I think. And a bit of sunburn as well at that, but yes, we had a nice balance. Tiny bit of work involved. I did visit the Falmouth Hotel, which was nice, and chatted to the people that we're working with down there in March, and that was lovely. I have to say, Alfie loved the little beach in front of it, and so very nice indeed. What have we got today? Well, we're starting the month of end play. So this whole month is about end play. So I'm going to talk about end play in a variety of ways on the Mondays. You've got the big seminar and the set hands. I'd love to have some end plays sent in. Doesn't have to be played by you. It can be when you get end play, because both are very much experiences. And I'll discuss what an end play is, etc. But that's, yeah, we have a prize draw today. We have a prize draw, don't forget. So we've got two prizes, one of which is a bridge weekend for two for a founder member. And the other one is for a non-founder member, who we're going to give £50 for as well. We thought we'd give everybody the chance. What I will say is that I've cut down the prize. So it was for someone who had played in a duplicate, and I'm going to tell you which duplicate the winner has come from, and then I'll tell you who the winner is. So the duplicate that the winner was in was on Monday the 28th of June. Okay, so the winner of the weekend prize was Monday the 28th of June, and we will draw, or I will tell you the winner when we get to that time at the end of the thing. Now I'm not always sure. I'm not always sure whether it's right to do this kind of thing. But I've done it a number of times, and that is slightly changing our timings. But we have decided to. So on Wednesday, just this Wednesday only. On this Wednesday only, we are going to start our teams at 6:30. Okay, so on this Wednesday we're going to start the teams at 6:30. I know not all of you are going to watch the football, etc., but it does mean that if you want to watch us live, we will finish just before 8. So we're going to run from about 6:30 to 7:50, which is the usual timing. So that will allow you to watch the football if you wish. It will be distracting if you don't. Don't forget though, of course, you can start. You can start at any time. So if you don't want to watch us live, and you don't want to watch the football, of course, you can simply just turn me on at 8 o'clock. And to be honest, it should be about the same length. So we'll see. So our teams this Wednesday is starting at 6:30, and that is the offer of the week as well. So for those of you who do fancy that, those non-members, you can get it at the half price time. Okay, and as a number of people have said to me with regard to Wednesday, they're expecting me to win the teams match, and so I'm hoping it's going to come home for me. So this is a new shirt actually. I hadn't managed to iron it because it had come straight out of the bag, and Helen said no, that's too creasy. So I've now ironed it. So it is. Well, so well done to Lourdes there. The first one who hit that one, because it's similar to one of the other ones, but it is one of the 4 that I bought some time ago, and it's the first time I've worn it. Anyway, let's get to bridge. What are we talking about today? So we've got end play in the seminar. Fridays, a number of people asking about Fridays. Fridays, I have been asked for this quite a lot. I'm not completely sure how I'm going to do it all, but we're going to do forcing bids. Forcing bids for the next series on Friday. And again, we'll do the usual thing. We'll start at the very beginning and then move on. So bridge Thanks, Ken, for that. So we're going to start at the very beginning, just basic forcing bids and understanding what a forcing bid means, and then we'll make our way to it. And it's such an important thing, of course, forcing, and it tends to, and we'll get to forcing passes, but it tends to cause quite a little angst in because there's nothing worse than if you think well, I suppose the easiest one is if you open 2 clubs and your partner passes. It doesn't tend to make everybody in the partnership happy, but in a lot of auction, one person might think a bid is forcing, the other one doesn't, and that of course is a problem. Forcing means your partner must bid again. Okay, so let's go to hand evaluation. I think I think I've covered most of what I wanted to. I haven't really said much about my holiday, but people get bored if you go on about your holiday, don't they? Let's go to the hand evaluation. Start us off. He says that, having not actually loaded up the hands yet. And some of you may have astutely worked out that I haven't actually found my proper glasses either, but there you go. Other than that, everything's perfect. That's what happens when you go on holiday. Let's go to it then. Okay, so it's a long time ago since I left, for those of you who've seen it with it before. And for those of you who don't recognise it, which I'm sure will be most of you, because it was actually a West Ham, this is actually from the teams 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we had a discussion in the Zoom about the evaluation of this hand. Okay, we had a discussion about the evaluation of this hand, so I thought it would be interesting to put it in here and we could discuss it. So it's trying to work out what you think the hand is worth. And on the particular hand, North did open 1 no trump, if that helps you, and we'll come back to it. Okay, so North had opened a weak no trump, and you've got to decide what you feel your hand is worth. Okay, so we'll come back to that one. And then I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our seminar, so let's go there. So we're talking about end play, and first of all we better discuss what it is. So the big seminar's only obviously just come out, and you'll have a chance to read about that. So the definition of end play is basically where ideally you get the opponents to do something nice to you. So you're aiming to place a defender in a nasty situation. The perfect end play is where you force a defender to give you a trick. Okay, so you put them on lead and they are end played is the expression we would use. They are forced to give you a trick. Okay. And that's lovely when it happens. It's not lovely when it happens to you. And I would hope that most of us have found ourselves in that situation. Usually your partner then moans at you for having given a trick away, but it actually turns out that it wasn't your fault. Your opponents had played well. Okay. What's important, and this, I will say this, those of you who look at the big seminar, I'll say this throughout the seminar, and it's so, so, so important. Whenever you give the defenders the lead, you give the defenders the opportunity to give you a trick. And most of you will have heard me talk about defence endlessly, saying it is the hardest part of the game, the hardest form of bridge. Well, why not give a defender the lead? Because if it is the hardest form of the game, they'll often give a trick away. We see it all the time in the team. Certainly I will give a trick away as well, but I'll often give one, and people who are watching think, oh, I can't believe they've done that. But actually we all do it. Because when you're a defender, you're playing half blind, and it is really tricky. So as a declarer, don't think that they know what's in your hand. It's easy to get stuck in your own plan, thinking I have to do everything. If it's possible, giving a trick away every so often, don't get me wrong, one that you have to, I don't mean throwing your queen underneath something, I mean just playing a trick that you have to lose, gives your opponents the chance to give you a trick back. Okay, so there's 2 fundamental elements to it, and that's the way I would start any end play seminar, and those are the rough and discard and the finesse. Not going to go through that in detail here. That's for the big seminar. For those of you who can watch that, all the members, etc. You know, you can have a look at that. Of course, anybody who wants to, who fancies the big seminar and you've never been a member before, you can get a free pass for 2 weeks. Okay, just ring our office. You can always get your 2-week pass. If you've not done it before, gives you a chance to see the site, and of course you'd be able to look at this. Okay, so a rough and discard, where you're able to declare a rough in one hand and discard from the other. Lovely. Okay, the finesse, of course, usually it's 50-50, but if you can force your opponents to lead it, it can turn into a 100% chance, and that is the kind of finesse we love. As I say in the seminar, an ideal type of finesse. So I'm not going to go into detail, I'm not going to go how it works. Okay, what I'm going to do is show a couple of examples and just start the conversation. Okay, start the conversation. So let's put ourselves in 4 spades here. Okay, let's put ourselves in 4 spades. And what I want you to do is make a plan. I'll just see the Queen of Clubs lead there. Have a think about that. Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to just set up my computer, because with end play you need to see the options. So of course I'm going to be going through it. Okay, so remember to count your top tricks, of course, and then just have a think about how you think things might progress. And also important when you're doing a suit contract is to make sure you work out how many losers you think you've got. Okay. Okay, so hopefully 5 top tricks. Okay, there's 4 long trump tricks. I hope everybody's happy with that. So that's an easy 9 tricks. Ooh, where is the 10th coming from? Where is the 10th coming from? Because it looks like you've got 4 losers. Can you see that? 2 diamonds, a club, and the ace of spades. Tricky. This kind of thing, so this is quite a tricky hand. Okay, it's not something I would usually start a big seminar or something like that with. This is something we would go to slowly. The idea on a hand like this, though, is to give your opponents the chance to go wrong. So at some point, the problem I would have, for example, a few people suggesting ducking a club. The worry I've got with that is that at least I can give them the lead at some point with that club and they might go wrong. Okay, so the idea being that, who knows? Now, I understand that all of you are thinking, I would never as a defender play a 3rd round of clubs. Okay, but actually it does happen. It's happened to me a number of times where I get a... Can you see that if I play the ace of clubs, draw trumps, they get a club and they play a 3rd round of clubs, well then I would be able to rough in one hand and discard in the other. Okay, so is there any hope in the hand? Well, the problem, someone's saying if diamonds are 3-3, the problem with diamonds being 3-3 are that you would lose 2 diamonds, 1 club and the ace of spades, and that's the crucial element. So what's strange on this hand is you don't want a 3-3 diamond break, because I think if the diamonds break 3-3, unless the defenders make a clear mistake, they will make 2 diamond tricks, 1 club trick and the ace of spades. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hope for a mistake from our opponents. Okay, we are going to hope for a mistake from them, or there can be a favourable layout. Okay, so again, someone's saying that no one will play a 3rd club. If you've never had your opponents give you a rough and discard, you clearly haven't played enough bridge. I have been given rough and discards by many opponents. Sometimes they're good opponents. Really good opponents, as in they think, well, I don't think there's a safe exit. If Declarer's got a 3rd club, I can play a 3rd round of clubs myself. So it's not as simple as that. So what we're hoping for, a genuine hope, is that one player has a doubleton diamond, and ideally, if he has a king doubleton diamond, can you see he might have a problem? Or particularly if he had King Queen doubleton, as it happens, that would be even worse for him. Okay, well, that's all we're thinking. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take you to the table, if that's all right. So I've got to go to Q+ for this because I need to show the options. I mean, I suppose I could create 15 or 10 or 15 different slides, but it tends to be easier to show it with this. So here we are, we're in 4 spades, Queen of clubs lead. We're going to win the ace of clubs, and I think we'll play a trump. Let's play a trump. They've ducked a trump. That's interesting. Okay. Now, at this stage, okay, I'm playing a spade to the jack. They've ducked it. They might have the bare ace of spades left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the ace, king, queen of hearts out. Okay. But if I do that first, a good opponent or an expert or even a computer might guess what I'm doing. So I'm going to hope. My plan is to play hearts and then clubs, okay, and those 2 suits will be empty. But if I do that and then play the ace of diamonds, it's just possible that an expert defender might do something nasty. So I'm actually going to play a diamond to the ace at this point, like that. Then I'm going to draw the hearts, okay, so let's do that. So now we're going to empty the suits. Let's do it. Heart to the ace. King or queen, and then another heart. Okay. And now let's just play a trump, I guess. Got to get rid of the trumps at some point. The ace wins. They're playing a diamond. Oh, this one hasn't worked. So they've done well. You see the opponents have done really nicely there. Can you see what they've done? So that one hasn't worked. So let's just open that up. Okay, can you see they've taken 4 tricks? Okay, so they've taken 4 tricks. That hasn't worked. So let's try it again. Okay, everybody see that? Okay, so this time, what are we going to do? Well, what we're going to do is we are going to try and make it more difficult for them. So let's play another. Let's play it another way. Let's play a club now. Let's see what they do this time. Okay, they've played a heart. Okay. Now they can't get from hand to hand, so we're hoping the plan's going to work now. So we'll play the ace of diamonds. Okay, now notice, do understand that if North throws his king of diamonds, we cannot end play him. Okay. So there is a way for North to avoid this. That is really complicated. Most of us won't be near that. But West has played the ace of diamonds. That's won the trick. Can you see what's going to happen now? Let's see. We're going to play a spade again. What can South do? Well, South leads a diamond. That's fine. Can you see what's going to happen now? Okay. Oh, I've forgotten to play the hearts. Someone should have told me to play the hearts there. Apologies. Let's go back. That wasn't very sensible. Okay. Let's go back. Sorry, apologies. We're going to whisk the hearts. James is quite right. We're whisking a heart ruff, but we're doing it simply because I don't think we've got any chance. So let's make sure we play those hearts off first. Apologies for that. Okay, and we're going to see. It'd be interesting to see if the declarer gets it right. So let's play a club now. Okay. He's played a diamond. We're going to play the ace. Now, should North get that right? An expert, I think, may well play the king of diamonds there. Okay. If he plays the king of diamonds, he gets off lead. But look what happens now. So I have drawn the hearts now. That's important. I apologise for that. Let's play another spade now, and you can see what's going to happen, I hope. Now, don't forget, this is not easy bridge. Okay, end play is not easy bridge. But we've already seen that naturally, if we play the hand in a normal way, we will go off. Okay, he does have to have the jack and 10 for you to be able to unblock the king, don't forget that. Okay, so the king wins, and look at North. Can you see North is struggling now? What can North do? Whatever North does, he can't play a diamond, and the problem is we're going to discard the 8 of diamonds. Let's just do it. North tries a club. we get what declarers love and defenders hate. Declarers love a ruff and a discard. It gives you a magic trick. We should have lost that diamond, but we've got a ruff and a discard. Okay, and that gives us our 10 tricks there. Okay. So is there any right way to play it? Not really. In many ways, you'll be trying to psychologically make it difficult for your opponents. I think playing trumps first makes sense if they duck one a lot of the times. I mean, I'll just show you that one again. Let's just do it. What do I have to do here? Deal, repeat. And we'll just do by user. Okay. So, I've just got to change a few things. Bear with me. So they lead the queen of clubs. Let's say we duck it, and that will work just as well. Hopefully they might lead the jack of clubs. And we would win the ace. We draw a trump. Again here, we can draw trumps safely. I would have thought he would win the ace, play the queen of diamonds back, seems reasonable. Okay, now, when the queen of diamonds is played, if North knows all the cards, let's just see if he does find this amazing play, this unblocking play. We mentioned it, those of you who are on the Friday sessions. Okay, in the Friday sessions, okay, we did mention this kind of play, but as was mentioned by a couple of you, it was getting pretty difficult at that point. Okay, so I don't expect many defenders as North to get that right. But if North does play the king of diamonds, okay, all right, well then we cannot end play anybody. Can you see North can lead the 4 of diamonds to the jack and 10? Okay. If South at this point plays a trump back, I think it's more difficult for North. Okay, because we're going to play a small diamond now. I suppose South could, again, it's a good signal. South could leap up with the queen, but a lot of people would play maybe the 10 or the 6. When we play the ace, I do not think it's easy. I think a lot of Norths will just follow small. And once he follows small, that's the end of the hand, isn't it? Okay, we are going to end play him. Remember, if the diamonds break 3 and 3, they take 2 tricks. Okay, so that's no good. We just need a bit of luck. And ironically, we need the diamonds to break 4 and 2. So we play our hearts off here. Like that. And what you've got to remember here is, yes, it's possible that South had the king of diamonds and he could win this trick. Okay. But again, if it was the queen of diamonds at the top, okay, a small diamond, South has to leap up with the king on the 3 of diamonds. When I play the 3, if South did have the king jack, can you see he'd have to leap up? That would be really tough. Okay. And we're just hoping that the king is bare. Okay. Don't get me wrong, if it's not and they've got 3 and 3, okay, if they've got 3 and 3, okay, you know, then it's easy, okay? There is no end. Someone asking, it's confusing. Of course it is. It's a really difficult hand, okay? What we've got is 4 losers here, and we're trying to get rid of one, okay? Okay, we're trying to get rid of one. Someone's saying, let's just go back there. Someone's saying, why are you playing the hearts off? Why did you play the ace of diamonds before the hearts? There's a good reason for that. Because when you play your hearts off, I think North is suddenly thinking what's going to happen. So imagine I play my hearts off first, okay, like this. I think North, a good North, I'm not saying it's easy, but I think a good North here is thinking, oh no, I've got a sinking feeling. So North is thinking to himself, oh my goodness here. If clearly I've got the last heart, I don't think Declarer's got any clubs left. If I get the lead, I'm going to have a rough, you know, notice if I play a diamond, it's no good. So if I've got to play the ace first. If I play the diamond first, he can win the king and he just plays another diamond. Can you see that? When I play the ace though, North with the sinking feeling might, believe you me, this is a very difficult play, but he might play the king like that. Okay. And if he does, again, I've got to lose 2 diamond tricks. Really, really difficult. But The idea, I mean, let's just get to the end of the hand there. The idea of on a hand like this, I've accepted 11 tricks, that doesn't matter. The idea on hands like this is count your losers, and if you can't get rid of, so quite rightly, someone did mention, well, if the diamonds break 3-3, you can make an extra trick. But of course, by that time, we would have lost 4. So here, it's a hopeless case, really. And all I'm doing, it was a bonus that North had the king doubleton, but one of my main chances on a hand like this is that the opponents give me a trick. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, oh, they'd never lead a third round of clubs. Believe you me, they will often. If you give your opponents the chance, they may well lead. For instance, North at some point might never want to lead away from that king of diamonds. He might think we've got the ace queen, so he'd lead a club just in case. Okay. Okay. Difficult with playing the other hand. The other ideas is Susan Johnson. Anybody essentially. I've got a big seminar for all the main ideas. So when I talk through the topic, I do it over a period of an hour or 45 minutes to an hour. And that's what my big seminars are all about. So if you do want to know it and go step by step through things, please do have a look at that. Don't forget, even if you're not a member, you can get on if you've never been on before for two weeks free, and you can have a look at it. And then we'll go step by step through it. Okay, so let me just go back to here. So all we're doing in many ways is we're drawing the trumps, emptying the suits, and we're hoping. We're hoping that either the defenders do something wrong or they actually get genuinely end played. I should, just one thing to note here, if North had the king and queen of diamonds, doubleton, there would be nothing that North could do to stop us end playing. So there is a genuine chance here. There is a genuine chance. So if North has king, queen, doubleton, there is no chance of him, well, unless he'd sort of led it, of course. If he'd led it at the start, he might have been able to avoid an end play. Okay. So let's look at another hand again. This one is nice and easy auction. Anyway, this is a nice and easy auction, I hope. So this one should just go 2 no trumps, 6 no trumps, 2 no trumps, 6 no trumps, not that you need to have it. James got a very good point. Yeah, certainly if they play the ace of diamonds on that last hand, you know they wouldn't have the ace and queen, but I don't think it's very easy. Okay, I don't think it's very easy during the play to necessarily take all that in. So let's look at this hand. 2 no trumps, 6 no trumps. Jack of hearts lead, and hopefully a nice and easy start to this one. It's a very simple hand in many ways. Making a plan on this one, we've got 11 top tricks, and we've got a double finesse in clubs, and that gives us a 75% chance of making it. Okay. So that's perfectly reasonable, okay? But we don't have to do that right at the start. And it's just possible that you might discover things about the hands. So what I would do here, a lot of people, not unreasonably, might take a club finesse, get back on, take another club finesse. And remember, 75%, unless South has both the king and queen, you're going to make. And I think that's reasonable. I'm very happy to be in 6 no trumps, you know, and it's perfectly reasonable. But you might get to a stage in the hand where you know that South has no more spades, no more hearts, and no more diamonds left. Can you see that? And if he's got none of those left, okay, well then, when I take a club finesse, he would have to lead clubs back. Now that is about knowing about end plays. Okay, I've got no idea. Most of the time I'm just going to take a double finesse. But what I am going to do is play the diamonds out, play a few hearts, a few spades, okay, and then probably just take the double finesse in clubs. Can you see that? But what could happen? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so I'll show you the hand there, so I'll quickly move over to here. Now I'm opening all the hands up so you can see here. Okay. All right, so if I'd given North either, I'll just quickly do the bidding because it's nice and simple, isn't it? 2 no trumps, 6 no trumps. I hope everybody's happy with that. A nice 13 points opposite 20 to 22. So is it helpful? Okay. 6 diamonds needs a 3-2 break. As it happens, it's 4-1 here. It's not deliberate, Andy, you know, but actually, obviously, playing pairs, you'd want to be in 6 no trumps anyway, because 75% is pretty good. But remember, you need, and a 3-2 break is only about 66. So actually, you know, 6 no trumps is a better contract than 6 diamonds. Can you see that? It's funny, isn't it? But it turns out that you do need. It's not a better contract. Apologise, not a better contract, but it's relatively close because of course if diamonds break 3-2, if they break 4-1, you still have your double finesse chance. Okay, so what would I do on a hand like this? Well, we got the Jack of Hearts lead. Let's just win that over here. My plan is to take the double finesse in diamonds, okay? In clubs, apologies. But look what could happen. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to do the discarding for Q+. I will tell you that when Q+ discarded, it discarded impeccably. Okay? It did discard brilliantly. Okay, let's just see what happens here. So I'm going to play all my diamonds off, assuming they break normally. So let's do that. Let's play some diamonds off. They've broken at least 4-1, so I know that I can draw them all out. Okay, so let's leave the Queen of Diamonds. What's North playing? What do you think North would discard here? He discards a heart. Okay, we'll do that. And then we play another diamond. This time I'm going to throw a spade. Now what I'm saying here is that, you know, clearly your spades are clearly not useful. Okay, you know that the 4 spades, I know we talk about 4 card suits, but you know that the 4 spades cannot win a trick. Okay, and what's interesting here is that the spade discards are going to be very helpful to us. Okay, but as I say, when Q+ discarded, he only discarded hearts. So he did do well. Okay, but imagine you play this. So let's say you just play. So we've played 4 rounds of diamonds like that. Okay, clearly no problems there. Okay, I can afford to play a couple more tricks, so let's do that. So I'll play the Queen of Hearts. South discards a club. Okay. So we know South hasn't got any hearts left. That's really important. Now we play the Queen of Spades. And we play another spade. Now, as long as you have been counting the spades, I'm not saying this is easy, okay, but as long as you've been counting the spades, you know there's only 1 left. And if there's only 1 left, your ace of spades draws that spade. Which therefore means that South only has clubs left. Now, we're not always going to get that, okay, but we now know that we can safely play the ace of spades and the king of hearts. We can lead a club, okay, oh sorry, we can play the ace of spades, I should say, like that, okay, and we now know we can lead a club, okay, and what poor old South is stuck. Can you see that? So, not a genuine chance really, and I think if North-South discard normally, but I've got it in my mind that if South has only clubs left, when I take my normal finesse, I'm planning to take the finesse twice. But of course, what can happen is this. The first finesse loses. And what can South do? South is end played. Now, there is nothing South could do about this. South hasn't made a discard. Well, I think he made a discard on the second round of hearts, but he hasn't discarded a spade. So there was nothing that South could do. South is forced, of course, just to lead a club back. If he leads the king of clubs, our ace win. If he leads a small one back, our jack wins. And clearly we take the last tricks there. Okay. So we make... what happened there? Well, I think North made relatively innocent discards. If North does not discard a spade at all, and it doesn't actually matter if he discards clubs, but if he doesn't discard a spade, then we can't know the spade situation. Okay. And clearly we don't want to be just playing the ace, king, and queen of spades off and then finessing and finding that South has a winning spade. But all I was doing was playing as many cards as possible off. So my normal, let me just show you what I would normally play. Okay, we'll do it. We'll just repeat that quickly. The play would usually go like this: ace of hearts. I would play the diamonds off, and I will tell you that I thought Q Plus did very well. Q Plus, through every single discard Q Plus made, was a heart discard. Okay, which is good discarding. It gave me no chances. So when I play the queen of spades and then the king of spades, at this point I'm thinking to myself, do you know, I think I'm going to have to take a club finesse here and hope the 50-50 works. 75%. So I'd take a club finesse. It would fail. Unfortunately, South has still got a spade left. He's not end played. Okay, he's not end played. So he plays a spade back. And I'm still happy. I still feel I've got a fit, and I'm still sure that North's got. Bernard wouldn't set the hand, so maybe we play the last two cards off and put ourselves, oh good, South's discarding lots of clubs. Surely the finesse will work, and I would take the finesse and hope. And of course here it would fail. And you're unlucky. Of course you're unlucky. You've gone down by one trick. Okay, but you've played it in the normal way. Okay, you've taken the double finesse in clubs, and it's a 75% chance. But double dummy, and remember a lot of you asked me about double dummy. The point is double dummy, if you were playing this hand, you could make it. Because you can see that by playing 3 rounds of spades off and 4 rounds of diamonds and 1 round of hearts, that South has no more cards other than clubs. And if you know that South only has clubs, well then when you lead a club, South has to lead a club back to you. Can you see that idea? So double dummy, this is an easy hand. Single dummy, which means you cannot see your opponent's cards, much more difficult. You need a little bit of help. But I mean, given that North knows the spades aren't worth anything, remember, although there's a 4-card suit, you know that if someone else has 4, they'll have a higher one than your 6, 5, 4, 3. You can see the 2 in dummy. Can you see? So, it's not easy. Okay, it's just showing yourself an extra chance. Okay, so some interesting ones there. We'll look at some of the details of doing end plays and some simpler ones as well. I wanted to show some exotic ones to start us off. Sorry if it's taken a few of you out of your comfort zone there. If you've ever found yourself in a position of having to give a trick away, please send in some hands and things like that. Okay, and I'd love to be able to include a few of them, and we'll talk about some exotic plays and we'll talk about some of the mechanics as we go through this month. So we're going to spend the whole month talking about end play in its simple forms and in its more tricky forms, as we've seen here. Okay, well, let's look at our hand evaluation hand, and then I think we are going to have our little draw, our little prize draw here. What we are drawing is the winner of the free weekend. So a weekend for 2, and the winner played on Monday the 28th of June, and they got exactly 50% in that game. And the winner is Neil Foster. So congratulations, Neil Foster. You win a prize. That prize is a weekend for 2, a bridge weekend for 2. And so please do contact us, and we will be able to explain what we'll be able to explain what that means. And our other winner was Hayden Evans. That's spelled Hayden. I'm not sure if it's Hayden or Hayden, but Hayden Evans. He gets the £50 voucher. So well done to both of those. So Neil Foster has won our weekend, and Hayden Evans has won our £50 voucher. So well done to both of those. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, we're still playing Bridge on the site. I should remind you, we'll be playing onwards. We're going to change a few things. So we've got the BMB games. We are probably going to change the Thursday a little bit. Because the novice game hasn't been so popular on the Thursday, and as a few people have requested a weekend option, we will put a weekend option for those of you who fancy it. So we'll see how that goes. But I will tell you of those changes when I'm putting them in. They won't be this week, but they will be next week. Okay, that's Hayden without the E there. So well done to everybody who won. That's exciting. I am going to go to Q+ there. Now I've given you the whole hand, okay. So once again, anybody who's worried about seeing the basics and things like that, remember that's all in the seminar that you can see. So you can see the big seminar. It's on our site. So do have a look at that. Okay. And even if you're not a member, okay, even if you're not a member, you can log on and get a 2-week free trial and see it if you fancy that. So the south hand we were looking at, I was asking you about it. Now, the player at the table against me, well, my teammate, as it happens, he was my teammate, not against me. He decided it was worth 11. I saw the odd person deciding it was worth 11. For me, there's pluses and minuses. It's a really interesting hand, the south hand. You've got a couple of 10s, but I only really like 10s when they're supported. So I don't regard the 10 of clubs as worth half a point. The King Jack Doubleton, I don't think is worth your 4 points there. So I think it's up and down. Up and down here. And the last thing, please, can I have someone give me the word that we like to use to describe this hand? And of course it is acelessness. Acelessness. Okay, really important that. So if you're ever on the borderline, and I think you are genuinely between 10 and 11, and of course there is a reason for leaning towards 11, because you'd love to be able to bid Stayman here. Okay, you'd love to be able to bid Stayman, but I'm only doing that if I really believe it's worth 11, and I think that acelessness is what is taking me back the other way. Okay, all right, and so on the table, we finished in 1 no trump against us, and they made it. And the other table, of course, because they did upgrade it, they ended up in 4 spades going off. Okay, and notice that everything's sitting pretty well for you in 4 spades. Okay, but it was still a struggle to make 4 spades. So you went 1 off anyway. So for me, it would be 1 no trump, pass, pass, pass. Okay, as Louise says there, someone saying there, if partner opens a heart, suddenly you would feel you're closer to 11 points. I think that's not unreasonable. Your King Jack is suddenly looking valuable. It turns out your King Jack aren't bad, are they? Okay, and you know, you've got, it looks as though you might have chances in a contract, but on a club lead you're going to really struggle. You haven't got many entries, and unfortunately you can't easily discard on your hearts because they can start roughing. Okay, so for me it's an up and down hand. Really hard to judge though. I think that's one of the more interesting hand evaluation hands. Remember, I would say it's you've got a half for the 10, you've got a half for the long suit, you've got a minus half for the King Jack Doubleton, and a minus half for the aces. So I'm probably closer to 10 than 11, but between the two. 10.3 I'm going to go for. Someone asking about, going back to that last hand, about why would hearts and spade discards make a difference? The idea is if you kept on discarding hearts, you don't tell the opponent anything about the distribution of the spade suit, that's all. But we will look at some difficult ones. I'm sorry for those of you who are not used to end play. I will gradually go through different aspects of it. But no, I will admit that none of the aspects are particularly easy. Okay, our offer of the week, don't forget, is the teams. That is starting at 6:30. Okay, someone's saying about, so on the diamonds on the hand evaluation hand, I was adding half for the extra length because I didn't think it was good enough suit. King, queen, small, 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 not quite good enough to add a full point on. Okay, if I go back to that, throw the 10 of clubs into the 10 of diamonds, I would probably go for it. Make the king, jack of hearts the ace doubleton heart, I would probably, upgrade it. Doesn't take a huge amount for me to want to upgrade that hand, okay? So again, it wouldn't have made a difference on the hand. So if I move the 10 of clubs into the diamonds, it doesn't actually make a huge difference. And we may well still end up going off in 4 spades, but I would feel a lot of the time it might make a difference. So hand evaluation is a really tricky thing. And don't get me wrong, if you give the same hand to 4 experts, they may well come up with a different evaluation. So you do have to bear that in mind as well. Okay, I think we're going to go to the bidding quiz. I have got a tip, but we'll leave that for next week. Our bidding quiz is this one. Oh, there's some tricky ones coming up, aren't there? Wow. So a spade from your partner, 2 clubs from you. Spade from your partner, 2 clubs from you, 3 spades from east. A spade from your partner, 2 clubs from you, jump to 3 spades from east. Oof. Okay, that's something to think about there. Okay, something to think about there. Don't forget, you can get that quiz answer on our site, whether you're a member or not. Okay, so that is a tricky one. Have a go at it. Okay, and see what you think. Okay. So tip for today is going to be next week, if that's all right, because we've pushed on, and otherwise I get really told off by my wife. You see, if I go on for too long, even though I've had a holiday, I can't go on forever. So I hope you enjoyed that. Very different today. Looking forward to being back, experimenting, doing different things. Please do send emails to us. We love emails, with hands, with ideas, with thoughts. Okay, we're starting a new year here. We're looking to up things, do things. We're looking to do live events, of course. Don't forget to go on the holidays, check those out. Looking forward to doing, all sorts of things and different topics as well. So, for example, what we're doing this time, forcing bids and things like that, and thoughts. Okay, so thanks for your time today. Have a lovely week. Maybe see you on Wednesday or Friday or just around the site. Thanks for your time and see you soon.